Yo, what's going on everyone? Karma here, back with another Cyberpunk video. Today I wanted to share a blade build. This is one of the most fun playstyles in my opinion, so I'll be breaking down exactly how this build works. And if you enjoy this video or find it helpful, feel free to drop a like, and if you want to subscribe for more content, you could do so as well. So starting off, I'm just going to go with the basics. We are basically using a Sandevistan with a katana. Of course, you can use any katana you want. In this case, I think on this character I have this one and this one. You can use that new one, the errata that does like fire damage. It's completely up to you what katana you want to use. You also have the option to use Berserk in your operating system if you want to. So really quickly, I want to go over how I distribute my attribute points. So as you see, I prioritize these three up here: body, reflexes, and technical. And then I just put some in cool, just left over for some extra crit damage. As you can see, cool increases crit damage per attribute point. And then intelligence, I just don't put anything on it. I do not use hacks with this build. The things you need in this build are two things: speed and survivability. So first of all, with body, this is going to be the attribute that's going to give you health. As you see, for every attribute point on here, you're going to get extra health. And also the perks that you pick in here are going to be health related. The technical ability attribute increases your armor per attribute point. As you see, it says +2 armor per attribute point. And it also has perks that are going to make like your cyberware better cooldowns, all that stuff. And then you have reflexes, which is going to make you faster. You're going to get a higher crit chance per attribute point. And you also have a bunch of blade perks that basically make your katanas or your swords better. Before I continue and explain more about this build, I just want to show you the trees. So this is a body tree. If you want to pause and copy, that is a reflexes tree. We got the technical ability tree. And I don't have anything in cool or intelligence. And look at my perk points. I still have 26 left. So this build is pretty good, man. You don't actually need all these perk points. You can put them wherever you want at this point. Now let me go over the important parts of the build. So first of all, I want to go over the body tree. Here we have perks like Painkiller, Speed Junkie, Comeback Kid, and Army of One. These are going to help increase your health regeneration rate during combat. Then we have Dwarf Head over here, which every time you use your blood pump or your health item, it's going to increase your mitigation chance by 100% for 2 seconds. So this guarantees that you mitigate your damage for those 2 seconds after you use it, which is really good. And over here we have Adrenaline Rush, which is going to increase your max health, and it's also going to give you extra health regen bonus. Additionally, whenever you activate your health item or blood pump, it's going to provide you with an extra health bar, which is used to absorb damage, which is also really good. And alongside this, you have these perks around it. You can also pick this one, by the way, Calm Mind, if you'd like. It adds a 3-second delay before Adrenaline Rush begins to decay. And it's also going to give you Juggernaut, which is going to increase your movement speed and your damage. And this one is just going to help you recharge your items faster as long as you get kills while Adrenaline Rush is active. Moving on to the Reflexes tree, this is going to help you with speed, evasion, and blade effectiveness. Perks like Dash, Mad Dash, and Flash and Thunderclap, and Air Dash will allow you to close the distance between you and the enemy, allowing you to get up close and personal. Tailwind will allow you to recharge your stamina by simply doing air dashes, which is fantastic. Additionally, you have the support perks like this one. Every time you dash, you have basically a 100% mitigation chance. So you'll mitigate your damage by whatever your mitigation strength is at every time you're dashing. Keep in mind, this dash window is actually smaller than it looks. So if you somehow get hit towards the end of the dash, that's basically just the momentum left. It's not during the dash, so you might not get that mitigation. We also have Aerodynamic, which is going to increase your mitigation strength by 30% while mid-air, which is awesome. In fact, with this build that I currently have, and it's not even min-maxed yet, I could do so much more to increase this. Look at my mitigation strength, it's at 60%, but if I jump, it goes to 90%. So that's kind of crazy. So every time I mitigate damage, I'm only going to take like 10% of the damage. And then we got Aerial Combat, which is great for air dash because it helps you like control the character better while in the air, which is awesome. And on this side of the tree, we basically got the blade perks. I recommend you just pick everything. Then up here you got the finisher, and all these perks around it are basically just support perks. This one gives more range to the finisher. This one makes enemies that are affected by stagger, stun, blinding, or bleeding more susceptible to being finished. And this one gives you some bonuses after you use a finisher. And this one up here makes sets so that every single attack makes the enemy bleed, which in turn makes them more susceptible to finishers, and they also take damage over time. And then we got the tech tree. This side over here is going to focus on your health item recharge. And honestly, borrowed time in my opinion is a must. You basically get a free instant recharge of your health item whenever you're low and without a health item ready. So honestly, this is a lifesaver sometimes. And this middle part is going to make your cyberware more efficient. Edge Runner and Renaissance Punk are going to increase your cyberware capacity. This is just going to increase the general capacity, and of course this one allows you to exceed your capacity. And then of course all those bonuses at the bottom, crazy if you're able to activate Fury State, which is that state where you go Cyber Psycho. License to Chrome and all things cyber are going to increase your cyberware stat modifiers, which is great. And this one actually gives you a ton of armor, because at level 2 it gives you plus 40 armor. And at level 3, it unlocks a new cyberware slot for the skeleton, and every skeleton cyberware increases your armor as well. Extended warranty is going to increase the duration of all cyberware effects. And just keep in mind with these two, Chrome Constitution is going to reduce incoming damage by 5%, but this only works if all integumentary system and skeleton cyberware slots are filled. And then Cyborg is going to reduce the cooldown for all cyberware if all available cyberware slots are filled, which is great because this actually lowers your Sandevistin's cooldown. Other perks you can use here are actually Lucky Day, you get more components from looting. And then these two if you'd like, if you want to min-max your build, Driver Update, and Chipware Connoisseur. These are going to provide you with more options in your stat modifiers. I already explained how this works in the technical ability tree breakdown. You want to watch that video, I'll link it down in the description. Then of course, always feel free to go all the way up here and use some grenade damage. Keep in mind the explosion damage given by Pyromania stacks only affects grenades. So if you want to use this, you can use it for the movement speed. Of course, every single stack of Pyromania is also going to increase your movement speed, which is awesome. I do use it actually. I'm just not using it for the purpose of this video because it's not needed. However, that explosion damage is only going to affect grenades, so keep that in mind. And then moving on, of course, the cool tree. I don't really use anything. I only use this tree to increase my crit damage, which also affects your blades. And I don't do anything with the intelligence tree. However, I do want to go over Cyberware. Now, Cyberware is completely up to you. Just keep in mind, you need to fill it up. I'm only going to show you the ones that you probably need to use. So, for example, arms, of course, you want Mantis Blades. These also get all those bonuses from the blades. It also has a high bleeding chance. So if you're still not up to Reflexes 20 to use that perk that makes everyone bleed, you can use these to make them bleed. For the frontal cortex, I recommend using Mechatronic Core, which is going to increase damage against drones, robots, mechs, and turrets. And Self-Ice, which is going to negate enemy quick hacks. Since we're not going to be net running at all with this build, it's great to have this. Try to avoid getting quick hacked when you're in a mob of enemies. So for the skeleton system, the only one I do recommend that you pick from the skeleton side is the Dance Marrow, which is going to increase your melee damage. And it also gives you nice armor. Aside from that, I like to use the skeleton because it increases my max health and it also has a ton of armor. And I also like using this one. It gives you a ton of armor and you don't even use that much capacity. It's only 6. Down here, these are the ones I recommend all the time, honestly. I like using Neofiber. It's going to give me some mitigation chance and also increase my mitigation strength. This one, Stabber, is going to increase my crit chance with blades and throwable weapons, which is awesome. We want crits as much as possible. And I also like using Reflex Tuner, which is going to slow down time whenever I'm low on health. So if for whatever reason I'm out of Sandevistin slow down time and I'm almost going to die, this is basically going to save your life every single time. It's like a mini Sandevistin. In the integumentary system, these are the ones I do recommend. Pain Emitter is going to reduce incoming damage, and it also gives you a ton of armor. This one increases my armor effectiveness when attacked from the side or the rear. So since you're going to be up close and personal with enemies, you're going to be fighting one at a time. Other enemies can shoot you in the side and the back. So this one works really well. And proxy shield, of course. The closer you are to the enemy, the less damage they deal to you. So if you're up close to their face, you're basically going to be taking 20% less incoming damage. Operating system, I already mentioned. It's up to you, honestly. It doesn't matter what you use, as long as it's a Sandevistan or a Berserk. You'll be fine with this build. Optics doesn't really matter. I honestly just use these just because they cost 2. Try to use the cheapest. Same for the hands. For the hands, I just use this tattoo that you get with Johnny in one of the missions. And honestly, it's cost 0, so it's perfect. A circulatory system now. For the first one, I like to use micro rotors. It's going to increase my melee attack speed. And then these are up to you. I like to use blood pump and biomonitor. Blood pump because it's probably the best health item. And biomonitor is going to automatically activate the health item whenever my health gets at below 35%. But of course, down here, there's plenty of other cyberware you can use. You can use like heal on kill, which is going to give you health every time you neutralize an enemy. And others. So it's up to you. I know there's a lot of new iconic ones with the Phantom Liberty. If you don't want to use the Apogee like me, you want to use something cheaper and then maybe invest into another piece of cyberware that is iconic with like armor stat, more health, or better melee stuff, speed, any of that, that's completely up to you. And lastly, for the legs, I always use reinforced tendons. Great to get around the map. It's great to be used with like the air dash and stuff. So 100% I do recommend this. And that is basically all I wanted to cover for today. If you want to see more detailed breakdowns of the perks, feel free to check out my videos on breaking down every single attribute skill tree. I do have them listed in the description below. If you found this video helpful or informative in any way, feel free to drop a like. And if you want to subscribe for more content, you could do so as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.